So for homework of section 7.2, let's start with talking about problem 11. And it is the homework in this section is extremely tedious and for me very easy to mess up. So I've done them right here to a point so that to help me go better. I will show you what I did first. Okay, this is problem 11. All right, so you have here's my game plan. The game plan is first I will take equation 2 times minus 2. The reason, first I should mention the goal. The goal is that we're going to get rid of z. Okay, so there's a z here, 2z, 5z. So it seems reasonable, though that might not be true. But it seems like the best way to hit this is use this, combine and get rid of the z this way and get rid of z this way. So the first thing we're going to do is take equation 2 times minus 2. The reason we times minus 2 is it will kill off the 2z there and end up and give us something that's in terms of x and y only. So that's what we're going to do. So let's take equation 2 times, I'll draw times like this. 2 times, what was it? Minus 2. Okay, now equation 2 times minus 2 is going to equal to, yeah, that means times, by the way, and only for this section. But anyway, so that will be minus 4x, let's see, yeah, minus 8y, minus 2z equal to minus 32, okay? And then that we will call it equation 4. And have that. And then we'll take equation 4. There's a minus 2 and a plus 2. So we'll take equation 4 plus equation 1. So let's do equation 4 plus 1. See, when you do something that's really error prone, writing down these notes sometimes helps. For me, I still kind of mess up for some reason. But anyway, so we'll do 4 times 1, okay? So minus 4 plus 3, that's x. And then minus 8 minus 4, that's minus 12, y. And then minus 2 plus 2 is 0. Minus 32 minus 15, that's equal to minus 47 or something like that. Okay, so that's the first thing I got. Minus, I have a mistake in here. Oh yeah, the mistake is right here. Minus 4 plus 3. That's minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1. Excuse me. And the reason I messed up is I was looking at this row for some reason. So I got 2 plus, actually that doesn't even make sense. What did I do anyway? Whatever. The point is, we're doing, when I was doing equation 2 times minus 2, this thing times minus 2 is minus 4. Okay, so then this plus that is minus 1, so that is the answer I have right here. See, I did this ahead of time so that I can catch myself in the mistakes and not spend my entire video catching my own, trying to hunt for my mistakes and can't find it. So the next thing we're going to do is take equation 2 times minus 5. So the equation 2, still this one, we times minus 5, we can cancel out this with this plus 5z. So that's why we're doing that. So let's take equation 2 times minus 5. Now, equation 2 times minus 5, okay? 2 times minus 5, that's minus 10 x. And then 4 times minus 5 is minus 20 y. Z times minus 5, that's minus 5 z. And then 16 times minus 5 equal to negative 80. All right, so that is, I forgot to underline this thing. This is our first important equation right here. Okay, and we don't have a name for it. I'll name it later maybe, or not. Anyway, so this is, we'll call this equation 5. Now at this point we are supposed to add this thing to equation 3 because of the negative 5 and positive 5 canceling each other. So let's do that. We have 2x minus 10x, that's negative 8x. Negative 8x, okay? And then minus 8 and plus 3, that's minus 5. That's not what I have here. What? Now let me see. Did I mess up already? Okay, so we have equation 2 times minus 5. 20. Okay, this right now we're doing, I should write down what we're doing. This is equation 5 plus equation 3. Okay, so let me not add the wrong line here. Okay, so 5 plus 3, this thing plus that thing. So minus 10 plus 2 is 8. And then this minus 20 plus 3, that's negative 17. Minus 17y. And then minus 5 and 5 cancels out. And then that equals to minus 80 plus 20, that's negative 60. Okay, and that is correct, which I will underline this also with a green green marker. Now, now we have two results from the green markers, and that's what we're going to work on. Now we have a 2 by 2 situation where we have 2 variables and 2 equations, which are much easier to deal with. Okay. Now, so let's from this equation, I will call this equation 6. Let's call this 6, and we'll call this one 7. Okay. So from equation 6, I get I'll solve for x. Now x, we'll toss x over here. So, and then x is positive. So x equal to, the 12y stays over there, negative 12y. Okay, don't forget the negative, minus 12y plus 47. That is equal to x. And we'll plug that x value into the equation 7. So into equation 7, that gives us minus 8 times x, which is negative 12. Where's my y? I know there was a y there. Yeah, see, there's a y there. Minus 12y. Okay, that is plus 47. Yes, plus 47. Okay, let's see. That's the x. And then minus 17y, which is right here. That equals to negative 60. All right, so that is that's the equation, which means that if we round up the y's, that will be this becomes positive. Okay, that's 8 times 12 is 96. 96y minus 17y, that equals to, or should I say 96 minus 17y? Yeah, I'll write the y outside. 96y minus 17y, I'll write it this way. 96 minus 17y is equal to minus 60, and then this 8 times 47 moved to the other side becomes plus 8 times 47. All right, so from this equation, we can calculate y, which we are going to do right this moment. So let's punch in y, and we have always put in parentheses because what's being divided has a plus sign in it. Okay, so plus 8 times 47 divided by parentheses 96 minus 17. Okay, that should be equal to, that equals to 4. Is that correct? Yep, the answer y is equal to 4, so that is doing great. Okay, so by moving this stuff down here, push it down across the equal sign to the denominator, we are able to solve that y equals to 4. If y equals to 4, x is given by this value, x equal to minus 12 times 4 plus 47. That is 12 times 4 is negative 48 plus 47. That equals to negative 1. And checking my answer, that is also correct. And finally, z will get z out of, you can get it out of any of these equations. They will come out the same if our answer is correct, that is. Doesn't matter which one. So we'll pick equation 2 because the z looks easier here. So z equals to 16 minus 2x minus 4y. All right, so then having copied that, that equals to 16 minus 2x. What was x again? Minus 1. So minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. Don't forget the negative sign here. There's a lot of minuses and very easy to mess up. And then minus 4y. What's 4y? 4 times 4 is 16, so minus 16. Okay, so that is, what is that? Isn't that 2? Because the 16 cancels out with that 16. It should be equal to 2. Equal to 2. Let me see if that's correct. No, the book said, yes, I was looking at a different problem, which also happens. Sometimes you get the right answer and think you're wrong because you're looking at the wrong part of the answer part. But for this one, z is equal to 2, and y is 4, and x is negative 1. Yay! So then we got one problem down, okay? Many more to go. So let me erase the board and we'll do the next problem. So the next problem, same thing. You might wonder, why do we have to do so many of these things? Well, the reason is because systems of equations is extremely important. I mean, it's a skill that will be used in calculus and beyond. Basically, you absolutely need to know how to solve this kind of thing. It's tedious, and but there is a easier way to do it, and that we will learn later. But at the first point, we do need to understand how it works, see? And that's why we have to do a few problems here that each one is going to take a long time compared to your regular algebra problems. But so please use give it some patience and time, and grind through it slowly. And or fast, however you like to grind through it, as long as you get through it and get it right. Is worth the trouble. Okay, which is why I'm doing this, even though I dislike this kind of thing. This is probably, systems of equations is probably, I can't think of anything in algebra that I like less. Well, mostly because I mess up a lot. So then it gets very frustrating. But it doesn't matter how frustrating you get, you still need to grind through this stuff because it is extremely important. I mean, it helps you understand how equations work, for one thing. Well, it forces you to understand it. But anyway, so for problem 15, our game plan is to eliminate y. Okay, so here's my game plan. First, I'll take equation 1 times 3 plus, and then add it to equation 2 and get something. And in doing so, I will eliminate y. And then the other game plan is similar. Anyway, we'll do what I wrote here, and then hope that we'll get to the right answer. So first, we will take equation 1 and multiply by 3. So let's do that. Equation 1 times 3. All right. Let's see. 1 times 3, that's 15x minus 6y plus 9z equal to 12. Okay, we'll call this equation 4. And then, this thing is going to be, what were we doing? We'll add it to equation 2. So equation 1 multiplied by 3 and then add it to here. Yeah, see, you can see why that will, because this is a negative 6, a positive 6, so that will be good. So then right now, we're going to do equation 4 plus equation 2. Yep, add it to equation 2. So 4 plus 2, this thing added to that thing. Okay, so 15 minus 4, that's 11x. And then the 6's cancel out like they should. And then plus 9 minus 3 is plus 6 z. And that equals to, and then 12 minus 1, that equals to 11. Did I get it right? 11x plus 6. No, I'm sorry to say that I messed something up. Why? 6z. Okay, let me check. I get 9 here. Why do I have, what is it? Equation 1 times 3, and then 9 minus 3 should be 6. Let me see where I got wrong. Great. I wrote down the problem wrong. This is not 3, this is 7. That's why. I should have checked the question to see if I got everything right, but I didn't check, and no, still wrong. I didn't check, and the one time I didn't check, I got the problem wrong. It's 7z. 7z. If it's 7z, equation 1 times 3 doesn't change, so that's 9 minus 7. That will be give it to 2z. All right. Okay, that's better. Okay, so that would be the first equation that we don't have. We have only 2 variables. So I'll underline this. We're going to be using that. So next, the next step is we're going to take equation 3 times negative 3. And the reason is because we're still eliminating y. So both equations we're eliminating the same variable for the hope so that we have a 2 variable and 2 equation system left. So we need to do equation 3. Equation 3 need to be multiplied by minus 3. All right, so let's do that. This times minus 3, that is negative 9x. That times minus 3, that's minus 6y. And then this times minus 3, that's minus 3, no, positive 3z. And that equals to 4 times minus 3, that's minus 12. All right. And then we're supposed to add this thing to equation 2. To add it to equation 2, we get 9 and 4, that is negative 13x. Okay, and next, minus 6, I forgot to write down what we're doing. We'll call this equation 5, and then we're doing equation 5 added to equation 2. I should write that down. Okay, this thing is being added to equation 2. Okay, so then minus 9 minus 4, that's minus 13. And then minus 6 plus 6, that disappears like it should. And then plus 3 minus 7, that is plus 4. 4z. And that equal to finally, this one minus 1, and then minus 12 is minus 13. Okay, we'll call this thing, we'll underline this thing in green because this is our second 2 variable equation. And out of that, we are going to make it. So let's call this equation 6. And then this one will be equation 7. So equation 6, we have, what do we have equation 6? Right here. Okay, so we'll isolate z, okay? And from there, we move the x to this side of the equation. We have 2z equal to 11 minus 11x, which means z equals to 11 minus 11x divided by 2. Okay, so then, yeah, that's good. And then we need to plug this whole value right in here where z is. Okay, so let's write that down. So into equation 7, plugging it in there, we have okay, minus 13x plus 4 times z, which is this thing. So we'll write it in here. 11 minus 11x all over 2. And then equal to negative 13 minus 13. Okay. So now we have that. Now we need to round these things up. We're not going to write it in a whole fraction. Okay, we'll write it in a separate fraction like this: 11 over half, and then 11 over half x. Okay, now let's round up the x's. So for x, we have, what's the number before x? The number before x is minus 13, here, and then 4 times, and then minus 4 times 11, 40 divided by 2, so 2 times 11, that's 22. 22 over nothing, okay? We already canceled that. So 22x, right? Yeah, I think so. And then that equals to minus 13, which is here. And then we have the number here, which is 22, okay? 4 times that. It cancels out, becomes 22. Move to the other side is a minus 22. Okay, so then let's see. What are we doing? X. All right, so then we have, well, this looks like the same. This is minus 13 minus 22 equals minus 13 minus 22, which means x equal to 1, okay? Anything times 1 equals to itself. So x is 1, so that's great. So we found one answer. X is equal to 1. And so the next thing, we found z is in terms of x right there. So let's stick 1 in there. Well, 11 minus 11 times 0, times 1, that's just 0. So z equals to 0. So we already got the second answer. Yep. And finally, we just need to figure out where y is. Is there a y anywhere? Yeah, we have to dig out one of the original problems. Okay, let's use this thing right here. Okay, we'll use equation 3 to figure out what y is. You can use any one of those. And equation 3, because the y numbers, well, I don't know. Anyway, the numbers here in equation 3 look smaller, so maybe it's easier to use. I'm hoping. And so anyway, 3 times 2y then equals to, let's see, flop everything to the other side. Minus 3x plus z plus 4. Okay, that is just kicking everything to the other side. So then y equals to this stuff divided by 2. And what is that? So y equal to, x is 1, so this is minus 3. Z is 0, so that's nothing. Minus 1 plus 4. So that is what y is. So y equals to 1. And don't forget the 2 here. 1 divided by 2. So y equals to 1/2, and according to this, yeah, I am correct. X is 1, y is 1/2, and z is 0. And that is that means we have finished problem 15. So next, let's look at problem 21. Let me go over the problem this time to make sure I didn't write the problem wrong. 2x plus 3y minus 4z equal to 5. Negative 3x plus 2y plus z equal to 11. Minus x plus 5y plus 3z equals to 4. Looks okay. All right, so then let's get going. The goal is, being that there's a negative x here, we can combine this with the first one to knock the 2x out, and then combine it with this one to knock that out by multiplying the right number, and that's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to eliminate x. To do that, first we'll take equation 3 and then multiply it by negative 3. So equation 3 times negative 3 times minus 3. All right, so this thing times minus 3, that will give us 3x, and then minus 15y, minus 9z equal to negative 12. Okay, and we'll call that equation 4. And then next, we're going to take equation 3, the same thing, and multiply it. What? I did the wrong one. I did the next one. Doesn't matter. We'll just we'll do this one first. And once we did this, then we need to add it to equation 2. So we'll add the equation 4, add it to equation 2. All right, so this needs to be added to that. So let's do that. We have that becomes 0. Minus 15 plus 2, that equals to minus 13y. And then plus z minus 9, that's minus 8z. And then equals to 11 and 12, that equals to minus 1. All right, so let me check. I get minus 13y minus 8z equals minus 1. That is correct. Okay, so we'll underline this thing with a green marker so we can find it later. and then we'll keep going. The next thing, the other thing I have to do, it doesn't matter which one I do first. 3, I just read the line wrong. 3 is next. We're going to take the same equation 3 with a negative x in it. We'll say take equation 3, and then we're going to multiply it by 2. Multiply by 2. All right, and that will give us, okay, this thing multiplied by 2. All right, so that becomes minus 2x plus 10y, and then plus times 2 plus 6z, and then equals to 8. We'll call that equation 5. Okay, and then we're supposed to, what do we do with this thing? We're going to add it to equation 1. So this equation 5 shall be added to equation 1. All right, so that adds to this. Minus 2x cancels out as expected. Then 10 plus 3, that's 13y. Oops. Okay, let's see, 13y. Let me check myself, okay? And then 6 plus equation 1. 6 minus 4 is 2. What kind of 2? Positive 2. Plus 2z. Let's see, okay? And then 8 plus 5 is equal to 13. 13. And 13y 2z equal to 13. That is correct. Okay, so I'll underline this thing with a green marker, and that's the one we're going to use. So then now we have 2 equations with just y and z in there. So that's problem 5. So we'll call this one problem 6. I need to hold the marker right. And equation 6 and equation 7. So we'll start with, let's start with, doesn't matter which one we start with, but this one looks easier. There's a 2 here, okay? And then maybe that'll make it easier to come up with the answer. So we'll have 2z equals to 13 minus 13y, 13 minus 13y, which means z then will be equal to, I'll erase it here and put it down here. 2 will be equal to this, divided by 2. All right, so that is z. Now, being that is z, and we got that out of equation 7. So this comes from equation 7. We're going to plug it into equation 6. So into 6. Plug it into equation 6, z will go right here. So let's write it down. So we have minus 13y minus 8 times z, which is this thing. Let's 13 over 2 minus 13 over 2y, and minus 8z, okay? And equals to negative 1, equals to minus 1. All right. So that is what we have. And now let's write down all the y's. In fact, all the coefficients of y's. We'll write y here. There's a negative 13 minus 13. And then this is a positive 8 cancels out with a 2, give us 4. 4 times 13 is 42. All right, so that's that. That's all the things that has y in it. And then this one, we'll move it to the other side. But first, this is 8. This is 4. 8 cancels out. We'll have 4 times 13. And that will be moved to the other side, becomes a plus. It's plus 4 times 13, which is again 42. All right, so now we got this. And then we can just calculate y directly without the calculator. If let me see the answer first. What? I am not sure what this is. Well, let me calculate something as let me just use the calculator, okay, and see if I can get the right answer. So let's use the calculator, and it says, what does it say anyway? That is basically 41 divided by 42 minus 13. What's that? That is minus divided by 42 minus 13. That is definitely the wrong answer. Let me check to see where I got it wrong. Well, one mistake I found is right here. This is 13 times 4. That is, well, guess what 13 times 4 is? It is definitely not 42. 13 times 4 is 52. We have to carry that 1. See, I don't know why I didn't think of it. Okay, it happens. So this is 52, and also I believe this is a minus. No, this is a plus, so that is okay. And then this is minus 1, okay, and then this is 4 times 13. That's again 52. I'm not sure how that helps though. Now, does that help? Let me check. That is, let's hope it does. Whatever. Let me see. Where's the calculator? So let's go back. So instead of what do we have before, which is instead of 41, I should have, let's push delete. It should be reads 51. Yeah, 51, and then this should be 52. Delete 52, and then we get 17 over 13. That is the correct answer. All right, so y equals to, let's see, where's my calculator? Okay, 17 over 13. All right, so far so good. And then z equals to this thing, okay? So z equals to 13 over 2 minus 13 over 2 times y is 17 over 13, and that equals to that equals to we'll cancel this out, okay? That is z is gonna be equal to, all right, and so we have 13 minus 17. That is equals to minus 4 over 2, okay? That equals negative 4 over 2, which is equal to minus 2. So that's z. So now we only have to find out x. X is right here. There's an easy one to do x, so let's pick this one, equation 3. So from equation 3, we'll figure out x by equation 3, okay? Equation 3, let's move x to this side so that it's positive, and then move the 4 onto the other side. So then we have, once x has got moved, we have 5y plus 3z, okay? And minus 4, because 4 got moved, and that equals to x. So let's figure out what that is. So 5 times 17 over 13, that's y. Plus 3 times z is, what was z? Minus 2. 3 times minus 2, and then minus 4. And whatever this is, this will be equal to x. So let's pull out the calculator and do this again. Let's see. 5 times, okay, 5 times 17 divided by 13, okay, plus negative 6. Yeah, make sure you don't push the minus if your calculator has a negative, otherwise your calculator will throw a fit. And then minus 4. All right, that equals to negative 45 over 13. And my tablet passed out. Come on, open it. Okay, negative 45 over 13 is correct. Okay, so that is problem 21. See, if I hadn't done this in my head, well, if I had just remembered to carry the 1, but anyway, it happens. So that's, we're now done with problem 21. So next, let's do problem 25. Problem 25 is actually a easy one. It should be anyway, being that everything is equal to 0. If stuff all add up to be 0, just by the look for it, you know that 0, 0, 0 has to be one of the answers. Okay, and yeah, but we're going to do it anyway for the practice. So this is x plus y plus z equal to 0, 2x minus y plus 3z equal to 0, and x minus z equal to 0. Okay, and so let's do that. Being that this is the simplest one, we'll attack right here at this weak spot. So first we'll do equation 3 plus equation 1. So we'll do the 3 plus 1, equation 3 plus equation 1. Now that will give us, yeah, we don't have to multiply anybody by anybody. So that will automatically cancel out the z, right? So we'll end up with 2x plus y equal to 0. That's our first equation already. See, we already made it to the green line. So that's our first equation. And the second thing we're going to do is we'll take the same equation 3 and multiply it by 3. So equation 3, and now we're going to multiply it by 3. And that will be 3x minus 3z equal to 0. Okay? And that we'll call equation 4. And we'll take equation 4 and add it to equation 2. And get rid of z that way. See? So we'll take equation 4 and then add it to equation 2. Let's see, 4 plus 2, okay? And then what we're going to have is the 3z's cancel out, and we'll have 2x plus 3x, so we'll have 5x, 5x, 2 plus equation 2. So this one and this one. So 3 plus 2 is 5, minus y plus nothing, and no y here, so it's still minus y. And then 3c cancels out, so that's still equal to 0. Okay, so now we'll draw this as a green line. And now we have, okay, so now we have the second one. We'll call this equation 5. And then we'll call this equation 6. Now, being that there's a plus y and a minus y here, this is easy. We'll just add them up, right? So let's add equation 5 and equation 6 together. That is the two green things. Then we'll get 2 plus 5 is 7. 7x is going to be equal to 0. Well, that means x equal to 0. And once x is 0, then that forces y to be 0 as well. So y is 0. And then if y and x are both 0 from here, then you immediately see that z has to be 0. And that is problem 25. All right, so I will finish this section in the next video.